When I make an oil painting, a lot of times what I'll do is I will make an alla prima paint with artist oils, but sometimes I'll work on a whole batch of paintings where I work out the drawings first and sketch with crayons onto canvases. And lately I've upgraded the canvases that I'm using, and I'm using very heavy premium, I think it's a 10-ounce duck canvas. Now, the other thing that I do is I tend to work on batches of paintings at a time. And so what I'll do is I'll make a series of drawings and I will do the underpainting, which is basically spend an entire week doing paintings with Rust-Oleum oil paint, which is basically house paint, which is very heavy and very toxic, but it creates a really nice underlayer. And then I'm able to put thicker impastos on top of the canvas that I'm working on. So I'll actually have to have both the windows open in the studio. It's pretty cold here. I live outside of Chicago. And I will take this sheet of glass and I mix up this thick toxic oil paint and work out at underpaintings with it. And so this is the setup that I have. I have the computer on the stand, and I also have the drawing that's already completed, because sometimes I don't like to draw live because sometimes I screw up. And this is the painting that I'm about to work on. And one of the things that I don't think sometimes artists talk about is, so if you're working on extra thick stretcher bars and you put them on an easel, how do you keep it there? Well, I use these clips to do it. And what I'll do is I will take and put the canvas on the edge of the easel so that it's tipped up and that I can get to the edges without it being set back. See, if you do it like this, then you can't paint all the way to the edge. But if you bring it to the edge, but then as you're raising and lowering the canvas, it might create some problems. So what I do is I clip it on the back by using these clips. And I generally put 2 of them on there. And that way it holds the painting pretty sturdily on the easel for myself. All right. And in this next section, I'm mixing up some of that oil paint and thinning it down with some paint thinner. I've sped it up just a little bit, and I'm going to just quickly brush in an underpainting with thinned down oil paint. So it doesn't have to be very detailed, and it doesn't have to be extremely worked out, because later on what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back with artist oils in a day or two after it's dry and then repaint the entire thing. So in a way, what I've done is I've provided myself with a complete drawing and then a complete underpainting that I will later on define and work out even more. The first part is I lay out the darks and then I go for the medium tones and work the darks and the medium tones into one another to get a sense of overlay of shading. And then I'll add some lights and work out those areas as well. The background goes on to give myself some contrast. And then I will work out the very last of it with a smaller brush and keep sort of blending one tone into another, but knowing that almost this entire underpainting is going to get covered up.